going on, guys? I got another video. Obviously today at Star Wars Celebration there was a huge reveal with the teaser trailer for episode 9. So what with the film coming up, I obviously want to do a review on the film and kind of reaction trailer or reaction video. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that for this trailer first. I got some notes, I got some theories, just something to talk about, and I've decided that for this movie I'm going to approach it a little bit differently than I did the last one, which is that when The Last Jedi came out, I had all these theories of things I wanted to happen. I was like, oh, like I want Obi-Wan back, I want this, I want that. And I realized that it took away from my experience. I actually hated the movie when it first came out. And it wasn't until the second and third times that I went back and watched it and took away all of my expectations that I realized how good of a movie it really was. In my opinion, I know that there's some debates about that, but I do think it's a pretty good movie. So that being said, I want to kind of just go over this trailer and kind of pick out some things as we go. I'm not going to post a video of it because I don't feel like dealing with copyright claims and all that stuff. But yeah, so let's get into it. So obviously it's just Rey, desert, Jakku, or Tatooine.
We've passed on all we know. 1,000 generations live in you now.
I do notice that Luke does say we, and 50-50, I think he could be either talking about all the Jedi before him, or perhaps, I do think Luke will be a Force ghost, I think, and so if that's the case, then he could be also, he and Obi-Wan, he and Yoda is very possible, because Yoda was in the last one, but so I did notice that, as well as right now in pause where Rey is holding the Graflex. And you actually notice that the belt clip is a little bit different. The flex is back, and it has a belt clip that is very similar to Kylo's saber in the way it holds on to her belt. I'm actually not a fan that the flex is back. I'm not, obviously it's an iconic saber, I love it, but I'm not happy with the fact that there's no damage to it right now. Like, the thing, it exploded, and now it's just sitting there. It's nice and shiny and pretty with a little strap around it, and like, yes, I know she could have cleaned it, but I wish if they did it, they made it a little bit more scrap tech looking, and so I'm a little bit 50-50 on that, but still, it's back, cool. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we have Kylo, or what we believe is Kylo's ship, moving towards Rey. Sounds like a Graflex. So I paused it actually at my favorite part of the whole trailer. So first of all, I have it paused right at 107. If any of you guys want to go to that part of the trailer, it's my favorite image. It's beautiful because you see the ship so close up, and so just everything about it looks awesome. And Rey is mid karate Jedi flip over the TIE Interceptor. Is the Interceptor, right? Yeah. And so I actually have a little theory about this. Rey's just sitting there standing in the middle of this desert, and she's not running away. She has no battle damage. She doesn't look like she's worn out at all. So I think this is one of two things. Either this is the first time that her and Kylo have seen each other for this particular sequence, that this is not the middle of a battle, or that they're actually training together. That's something I'm going to talk about towards the end, but I do have that as a possible theory. So it goes to a planet that, you know, has a lot of lights, a lot of mountains, nothing really given away there. It kind of reminds me of like a Christmas type movie, even though there's absolutely no snow. It just, something about it gives like a Whoville type feel. You see Kylo in the woods, which is a really beautiful backdrop. It almost reminds me of Crate, even though Crate is obviously a different planet, just with all the red and the fire in the background. And I do, when you look at the person that he hits, it does kind of look like someone who could resemble a Knight of Ren, which again leads back into my theory about him and Rey possibly training together. And obviously we see his helmet's back, which, okay, I mean, I liked when they got rid of it. I think that, I actually, and this is going to sound weird to say, but I thought Adam Driver looked really good in The Last Jedi. However they did his makeup, the way that he kind of got rid of a little bit of that baby face that he had going on in The Force Awakens, and he just looked the part of someone who's like really struggling, like really torn between what he feels, and I don't want them to bring that helmet back into it, so I'm hoping that that is a very small part of the movie, how much he's actually wearing it. That, and I said, you got rid of it, like, I don't see there's a need to bring it back, but hey, whatever. Having Lando back and seeing Finn had Rey's staff. I apologize for the noise. Finn did have Rey's staff, and seeing Lando back in the cockpit of the Falcon is awesome. Just so cool. There is a part at 129 where the stormtroopers are flying around and they look like there's something out of Harry Potter, because they're basically flying around with nothing underneath them from what I can see. And so it's probably a jetpack, but like the way that he's just like moving and holding, it looks like he's holding onto a broom from Harry Potter. And so I'm going to back it up just a teeny bit here so we can listen to that entire quote. But there is a part where Leia and Rey are embracing each other, and obviously Rey is crying. And that goes into another theory I have where I think Luke is going to remain a Force ghost. I think if we killed him off the end of the last movie just to bring him back, that's kind of, kind of corny, but hey. But if he were to come back, I do think it would be done by Leia sacrificing herself for him. I do think that you see how powerful she is in the last movie. I didn't necessarily like her Force space scene, only because I think it could have been done better. I think that they could have had her like shield herself or something. Regardless, I think that might be what's going on in that scene, or they might just be mourning Luke. I'm not sure. But I think that if Luke were to come back, it would be by Leia sacrificing herself, and that'd be Rey, saying goodbye. And I could see JJ trying to do that as a way to kind of immortalize Leia as this obviously selfless character, because I know everyone says she was such like an incredible person. So that's one thought. It was the greatest way to end this trailer. It's been a full almost 12 hours since I've watched that for the first time, and it still is. It's mind-blowing that they're bringing back someone that we were convinced was gone. I mean, he's technically been gone for 40 years. We know that he's been dead, and they're just kind of like, oops. So that brings me to a couple of theories with having Palpatine back, that I've also written down, which is talking about Kylo and Rey working together. The biggest problem that I had when Snoke died was that there's no way you need a villain, and there is not going to be enough time unless they did a part 1 and part 2, which they're not doing. There is no way to introduce a new villain and then have Kylo somehow, because I really would like Kylo to be redeemed in some way. I don't mind if he dies. That would kind of piss me off. But because I love Adam Driver. I think he did such a good job in the role. But I do want him redeemed, and I do want them to work together, because there is that obvious conflict within him. And so this is basically the only way, by bringing back an old character or an old villain that we don't have to introduce, we know everything about them, as a way to allow that scenario to possibly play out. And it might not. Kylo might remain bad. They might work together. There's a lot of different ways this could go. But I do think there are some hints at Kylo possibly being good, although it's subtle. Like I said, because they could be training together. He could be killing Knights of Ren. I don't know. And what was the other one? Well, and there's a possibility of a new enemy. Second question is, where or what form is Palpatine going to be in? I mean, is he going to be a Force ghost? Is he going to be this red Force ghost? You know, is he going to be in kind of similar state as to? I know I didn't play Battlefront 2, but I've seen the trailers and I should play it because it's a type of game I'd love. Where he has like that robot and the way that he's there. Is he going to be, you know, full body Palpatine? Like, we don't know, or Sidious, however you want to call him. I did talk about Leia sacrificing herself to bring back Luke. I think is possible. I don't hope they do that. We don't even know if Leia's going to die because JJ had these old scenes that he was able to bring back. But I think it's possible that she sacrifices herself, which would be a good way to remember Carrie. And then so kind of talking about earlier and continuing with one other thing I saw, which is if Kylo does turn on the Knights of Ren, I'm also curious as to where Hawks has been the entire time. I mean, there's been no images of him, no, like, absolutely nothing. And I'm assuming he's in the movie. But yeah, it's kind of weird that he's had absolutely nothing. So I doubt that Hawks has anything to do with Palpatine coming back, but I'm very curious where he is. Perhaps if Kylo kills him earlier on in the movie, who knows? So that's just kind of one thing I noticed, that you don't see him at all. And obviously, I think it's really cool that they brought in the Death Star, even though it's obviously in pieces. The fact that at the end of the trailer you just see this enormous piece of the Death Star crash into this planet is pretty incredible, and really awesome to see. So yeah, so that is kind of my reaction to the trailer, and everything that I've seen. It was about as good of a trailer as they could have released, and so I really am truly happy with what they've done, and I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm going to try and continue to theorize about some things, but also go into it with an open mind, and I think that the community should too. I think that there is such a following with how good The Force Awakens did, that people just had all these crazy theories about tying all these things together. And so no matter what, everyone's going to have something to be disappointed about. And I think if we can stop that from happening, people will really enjoy the movie a lot more. So that's what I'm going to try and do. And obviously I'm going to push out on the people I know, because I think it'll bring out a better experience. But we'll see what happens. So I'd say if anything else comes out or leaks over the next few days, I will be more than happy to toss in on my page. And like I said, you guys comment below some of your theories. Message me on Facebook. I don't care. Let's talk about it. I love to talk about Star Wars. I love talking about it with you guys. And plus, my family needs to not hear about it all the time. So yeah. So like I said, feel free to message me on my page. We can talk about it and go from there. All right. Talk to you guys later.